the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. All right. Yes. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Let's get it. Shalom.
Don't wake me up. Mixed dream and a dream don't touch. I've been taking up.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm only here for a short moment here.
Yeah, 7 hands, 10 horns on the waters, raising up, praising up. I see crowds, flaming floors. Is it war at the door? I've been searching for it.
Come on.
I can't get it out of my head. I see the stars are falling down. There's tempers upon my face. The chase goes on and on.
Like giving it up.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up.
We're here to stay.
I'm not giving it up.
All right.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up.
We're here to stay.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I'm at the point understanding dreams are the real time. Reason why they wake me up. I try moving on, but my body is stuck. My conscience is raised, an angel pick me up. Awaken from this matrix. Looking down on the globe, blood dripping from his robe. I know he can fix this. I see a burning Rome and our people coming home. Can I please get a witness? Witness, I'm not coming down till I get this. These predictions can't be superstition. The decision being shown in the vision. It is ended. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah. 7 heads, 10 horns on the waters raising up. Oh yeah, y'all know what that's talking about. The prophecies of Daniel, the 4 beasts of Daniels, and we will be going into that this coming Sunday at the Hebrew and Bible Academy, the 4 beasts of Daniel, leading to the mark of the beast. That will be our lesson. Oh yeah, we put the whole vision of Daniel in a song. I'm not giving it up. You know, Daniel wanted to wake up from the nightmare. It was a nightmare, but the Most High held him to see what? All 4 kingdoms of the children of Israel would go through before what? Before the promised kingdom. It's really all about Israel's salvation and the nations having their salvation through God's people, starting with Christ. But I digress. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, it's doing great. We thank the Most High for all your participation. But yeah, for you newbies out there, don't worry about it. A new installment, a new 3 months is in the works right now that you can be a part of. Send an email to gatheringasone@aol.com or go to historytimes.org to enroll. Okay? There's nothing on the earth like this when it comes to understanding the Bible. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter if you're a theologian, expert, someone who went to theologian college, or someone who have never read the Bible at all. You'll understand it. Okay, the way the Most High have us breaking it down, you'll understand the Bible in its proper context, knowing the characters, okay? Knowing the characters and roles of nations within the Bible itself. And that's the confusing thing about Christianity, even though the one thing they have right is that Christ is Lord. Okay? But one thing about Christianity when it comes to races and nations, who they are according to the Bible, and how that most important component, right, is really prominent in our last days. That's one thing Christianity doesn't have. Who are these people in the earth, and what are their roles in the war that leads to Christ's coming? Well, they can't teach that if they don't know who the people in the Bible are. They just teach and receive Christ to overcome sin, but nothing prophetically to let people know who are these East Indians coming around. What do they believe? Okay? And does their religion oppose Christ? And if so, how can we trust them as experts or the authority? Or how can we trust them, their science? How can we trust them as doctors when we don't know what their core beliefs are when it comes to those temples they worship in? So it's important to really know who the nations are according to God, because what? War is waged, brothers and sisters, on different levels. It's not just shoot 'em up, bang, bang. If these people oppose Christ and is against Christ's kingdom, they'll get in different authority positions to do us away under their authority with these particular practices. Okay? They'll become doctors. They'll become lawyers. They'll get in position to wage war with us. So we must understand who all the nations are. And guess what? We're teaching that in the Hebrew Bible Academy. Know your enemy. And guess what? When we break down the judgment of the nations in the next Hebrew Bible Academy, it will be know your enemies. Okay? And that's one thing the Christians don't have. They're too naive, trusting everyone and believing that all things are relative and there's good people and all religions are the same. Nah. The religions that oppose the Bible, folks, are enemies of God. And those who worship these particular gods are soldiers in Satan's war against humanity. So you must know the nations. And this is no indictment on Christianity. We don't expect them to teach us the truth. They lied to us coming off the boats. So Christianity in itself, modern day Christianity, is a lie. But the Bible is true. And the true Christianity that Christ brought forth, that's right, is true. And that's what's taught in our Hebrew Bible Academy. But folks, I have some very, very good news for you all before I segue into, you got it, our Patreon for the week. All right? Our Patreon for the week. And don't forget, right on the bottom, historytimes.org here. Enroll in the Academy. It's only $150 for 3 full months. So, hey. Now, what happened yesterday, folks? Look at that there. In the same place we were before leaving Babylon. We went out to speak for the first time in the same spot where all of this began. Last night, and I can't thank the brothers enough who supported us. Shawan from New York drove in. He said he wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh, man. Brand new signs. Wait till you all see the signs. But don't worry about the content is being, worked on now and edited and all of that for certain uploads for what we can upload on this particular site. And we're going to see if we can upload some of the more controversial information that cannot be shown on this particular platform, YouTube, through Patreon. We have no choice because it's very limited where we can actually speak. Hey, we were dropping a whole new level of understanding. Oh, yeah. All right. 1 second. A whole new understanding, brothers and sisters. a whole new understanding. One second. One second. All right. So, a whole new understanding, brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell you that right now. Hey, that we taught on the streets, that's right. And what we were talking about now wasn't just the mark of the beast. Real-time breakdowns on how they're destroying marriages and have replaced people, all the authority of our people all over the earth, including the United States, with enemies of God. So, hey, as you can see, we are back and more. There's more. There's more. There is more, brothers and sisters. And we'll be going into this within the lesson tomorrow. Let me show you here. Let's show you here. Russia claims Ukraine is creating super soldiers in top secret bio labs. Now, I know we were going to go into, brothers and sisters, on Patreon for our loyal Patreon members, that we were going to discuss. One second. One second. Yes. Russia claims Ukraine is creating super soldiers. Let me take the phone off here. Sorry. Get that out of the way. Russia claims Ukraine is creating super soldiers in top secret biolabs. Okay. Now, why is this so important? Well, it's important because according to the Bible, folks, and I'm going into this in our lesson tomorrow. Okay. Here's our lesson tomorrow, folks. The lesson tomorrow, right here on G.O.C.C. NYC, and we will be right back with our regular channel, A Gathering 144, next Wednesday. But, whoa, the lesson tomorrow will actually piggyback off of our Patreon today. The mutant war against the children of Israel. The mutant war against the children of Israel will be the lesson tomorrow, this Sabbath. Hey, and it's going to piggyback off of this because what we're seeing here is Bible prophecy. Russia claims Ukraine is creating super soldiers in top secret biolabs. I'm going to go over this and more on Patreon. Ukrainian soldiers fire from a towed howitzer on the Russian attack. Now, there's a lot of things that I would like to say about this war in of itself, but, you know, these particular guidelines won't allow me to. But I'll talk about that over on Patreon. But really, these wars are more so about theater and predictive programming to get people adjusted to what comes next with all the immigrants and others who are coming into the country. Is there a connection about these super soldiers? Well, obviously something is going on genetically in the earth that's really getting into the bloodstreams of many who could be initiated as bio soldiers under Satan. This is a satanic plan in of itself, folks, but it first comes with changing people. And hey, the Bible speaks of these beings, a mutation of human genetics, the changing of God's creation to be used in war against the children of righteousness, against our people. And folks, we will need spiritual intervention in this war. And guess what? Guess what? It'll happen. The genetic mutation of people is a satanic plan that started pre-flood, which led to what? Noah preparing the ark and the Most High destroying all of the earth and all of its creation outside of what was preserved through Noah. That's right. The mutants will be in battle fatigue. Battle fatigue, and guess what? They've already been deployed throughout the whole earth. That and more, not just the United States. And I'm going into that in a couple of minutes on Patreon, and we're going to talk about that. I know I was going to go into the secrets of the dark secrets of the music business part 2, but with this information, I have to put that on the back burner, folks. All of this is connected. Immigration, genetic mutation, transhumanism, all of that is connected, and it's Bible prophecy. And no Christians anywhere are talking about this. And guess what? The armies are not just going to be in army fatigue. They're going to be working at your nearest Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. That's right. They'll be working in one of these big industrial companies that's owned through the corporations. They'll be working at Google. So like I said, warfare is waged on many levels. But yes, it's prophesied that a mutant army will come, and guess what? They'll be emotionless. Okay, they will have no emotions at all, folks. And the book of Revelation talks about this army, the demons that comes in and go into people. And but usually God's natural body, and which is beautiful, the original bodies he gave before genetically morphing that comes with chemicals today, would initially oppose spiritually this particular type of genetic change. See? So they have to change our genetics to accept the control of Lucifer. So this is a satanic agenda. This is not just science in of itself. This is a satanic agenda. These are rituals that are also, there's rituals attached to these satanic mutations of people. Okay? So what they're trying to do with the trance, this and all these other things they're confusing us with, is to have us receive any level of creation contrary to what the norm was since the beginning. That's what it's about. They're morphing our minds to accept something that God would reject, or at one point we would deem freakish or different compared to what? Compared to the traditional sense of man and women. Well, the reason why they're doing this is because it's so that we can also accept something else. It's deeper than just the robots, folks. They want us to focus on the robots. It's the people who are going to be changed. Transhumanism is here. And guess what? And it's going to come under the guise of immigration. That's all I can say on that right now. That's all I can say on that right now. There was a guy by the name, one more thing I can say. There was a guy by the name of Russ Dizdar. Russ Dizdar had a book called The Black Awakening, where he sat down with high government officials and others in other countries and met a lot of these genetically modified soldiers. Okay? He wrote a book on it, and he said that this is a satanic agenda where they're coming after those who believe in Christ. And this happened, and he wrote this book around 2009, at the same time that I was out prophesying on the street right here. And guess what? I had that particular book, actually. I had that particular book, and I left some of my books here. And that was one of the books I had. Years back, I had this particular record. And unfortunately, when I left some of those books back. And this book you cannot find on Google, Amazon, eBay, anywhere right now. Everything that Russ Dizdar said would happen concerning these mutations is happening right now. Another thing that he dropped is what? That the child must be traumatized. That's right. In order to make these particular soldiers, it must come from traumatic children who adopts a multiple personality that can be controlled by the handlers who are practitioners, doctors. So if you have trauma, that develops an alternate personality or a multiple personality disorder. Because that child develops a defense spirit to defend itself when the parents couldn't. But usually this defense they create, this alternative being or spirit, is evil. It's vengeful. It's unforgiving. And that's the spirit that what? The psychiatrists who have the science from Germany, they're able to use waves and all that in our technologies to control that demon from the traumatic child, turning most people everywhere into what? That have childhood trauma into Manchurian candidates. The reason he dropped it, Russ Dizdar. Now imagine if you have whole societies where the families are destroyed and there's no protection for children, no fathers anywhere, and almost every child that's born outside of a traditional religious home are candidates, folks, to be turned into Manchurian candidates right up under our noses. And the chemicals that's in their bloodstream adds to that. And through that, the God gene is turned off in their mind and they become soldiers unknowingly for Satan to add to this army that they've created genetically. Folks, I believe that's all I can say on this right now. I have to go to Patreon for this. I have to go to Patreon right now. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry because, hey, mental illness is real, but it was planned. It was planned. And at the end of it, it was Satan's plan to make all of humanity mentally ill because he is. Because usually what happens is Satan plays on what? Anger. Anger. Because that's the spirit. Anger came out of what? The rebellion from the beginning. Because that's what turned Lucifer dark. Anger. And he became what? Duplicity. He became, you got it, the first being with multiple personality disorder. The Joker. All right. Here we go. Let me tell you, folks, I'm so excited. I was on the street yesterday, and wait till you see what we dropped on the street. And guess what? We're going to be in full garb next Friday and next Saturday, right where it all began. And I'm going to tell you, boy, the dark forces are going to try to come against this word, and the sword will be swung like never before next weekend. I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to ask the Most High to have the angels encamped round about us. Our security is going to be there, and it's going to be something to behold. It's going to be something to behold, but it must get done. And then on all the East Coast places, Chicago, Boston, Connecticut, different parts of the East Coast, going into Virginia, you will see us moving all through the United States, dropping these new teachings with new signs. Folks, I'm excited. I don't know about you all, but I'm excited. Well, thank you. Thank you for all your support. That's our weekly Patreon update. But now I must unfortunately segue. We must transition. A lot of you been waiting for these street speakings for a long time, and it's finally here. Praise the Most High. Y'all been waiting. Okay. You've been waiting, and guess what? The Most High have heard all of our prayers. Oh yeah, I'm coming to North Kakalaki. That's the home of my mama. We will be on the streets of North Kakalaki too. And hey, we're going to need all your support because the demons are going to come from West Hell. Wait till you see the new signs that we put together. There's no signs out there in the earth like these signs we have for these teachings. Real-time prophecy breaking down Revelation with the signs. Let me tell you, the speakers are going to be on the level of the Hebrew and Bible Academy on steroids, with the interaction of people included. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we coming to Florida. Don't worry about it. We coming to Florida. Just keep your ears to the ground. Okay, yeah, we got to be in New York. Don't worry about that. Yes, and we're working on a new church opening in Huntsville, Georgia. I'll be discussing that soon. Yeah, the work is spreading, and we have to go to the ATL. Ain't no doubt about it. And I'm looking at Lawya. Look, I'm so proud of this young man. I remember he came in with those little beady hairstyle. And he said, yes, yes, elder, yeah. And I can tell how honed in he was. He was honed in. I'm like, he had the eye of the tiger. He was like that young cub, in the Lion's King. And I'm like, I don't care. Listen, I'm teaching everybody, and I'm down with that. But I know that look on this young man. I once had that look. I seen him. He's like 18 or 19. He's about 18 years old. And I seen the look in his eyes, and I'm like, I know what that look is. I'm like, listen, everything I know and everything I ever thought when it comes to this work and everything, my whole experience is going to be infused in this young man, holding nothing back. That's what I did. I made it my job to infuse everything I knew into this young man. And people came, people gone, all that, whatever the case is. I'm like, listen, and listen, heaven forbid. Okay, who knows? I know what comes with the battle. This battle comes with what? Even giving up your life for it. So I said, you know what? If anything happens to me, the Most High forbid, and it's up to him, and I know he's guiding me, it's fine. Hey, the work goes on. The work goes on because it was never about me. I only taught what the Most High gave me to teach. It was never about me because in actuality, all of our righteousness together is as filthy rags. Okay? It's all about the word of the Most High and the Most High and his son Christ being exalted above all. I'm just a vessel who did what? Put my hand to the plow and never looked back. That's all I am. And I'm grateful for an opportunity to do Christ's work, even at a time when I thought myself was unworthy. I thank Christ and I'm grateful for Christ for giving me an opportunity, because he could have killed me or totally done away with me a long time ago. So I don't look at this as me being some guy in some high position with some authority and all that. I have a work to protect, knowing that I'm grateful for actually being here. And this work doesn't belong to me. And every time I see Lawya and others that have worked and never put down the plow, and young men like this, it you know what it does? It allows me to go to the Most High and says, listen, I've worked. I've actually sown what you've given me into others. Forgive me for all my trespasses. Forgive me for the things I've done, because I picked up the plow when the enemy was coming against me, and I've never walked away. And I just want to work under your grace to continue in this work, to see the end of this. And when I see Lawya and others, let me tell you, Jermaine was out there yesterday. Bishop Amoth was out there yesterday. Craig was out there. Yashar Gabar was out there. And you know what? I haven't felt so safe. I haven't felt that safe in a long time. You understand? Not that I fear anything, but I knew that my life was safe in those men hands. Okay, I knew it. And man, Elder Rawchaa was out there. And then one guy came and had a camera, and Rawchaa was watching him. He goes across the street where the post office is, and he tried to film us from the back, hearing what we were saying. So I know that the enemies understand, and all understand that, guess what? Those guys who said everything prophetically that we're living under right now is about to go back on these streets. I know they're talking. I know the enemy is talking, because what others are saying out there, what we're about to say out there isn't getting said. And then after this time, the Babylonian bounce will be absolute. At the first time, it was Christ sending us out in hindsight, looking at it as he goes before the flock to know that it's okay to go, and we'll be safe under his guidance and protection to even come back. But the next time will be the last time. Here we go. And that sister from Philadelphia made some bad garments. Wait till you see us in those together. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hope y'all ready. I am. All right. Thank you all. I hate to leave you all, but I must segue to my brothers and sisters over in on Patreon, so that we can now go into the Satanic soldiers made in a lab. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. And keep in mind that the Most High's power is with you all. And I'll see you tomorrow on the Sabbath. Let me go over here now. Let's segue. The segue we're going to is Patreon. A Gathering 144. Patreon, A Gathering 144, and keep in mind, it's not like YouTube. The video platform there is a platform that's used sources from the outside of the actual platform. The video platform is separate from Patreon, so you must unmute and hit the play button to actually activate the particular video. Okay, you just can't go there and look at a black screen and get mad at me saying that okay, I'm on Patreon and nothing's here. No, you have to listen to me clearly. You look at the title and see the black screen and move the arrow to hit play. Okay? And you'll see a white thing that says unmute. Unmute it so that you can see and hear our Patreon. All right? With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up. We will soon see Zion. And, oh yeah, last but not least, just giving y'all some insight. The guy Russ Dizdar that did the book, that wrote the book that I'm about to talk about, The Black Awakenings, talking about super soldiers, genetically modified soldiers. He conveniently died during the time of the virus. He conveniently died. Okay? And then a few days later, his wife also. Yes. And then when you look up information on him, they conveniently say, well, he probably died because he was an anti-vaxxer. Those are the details out there. And that's all I can, but that's, when you look at his name, Russ Dizdar, look it up, Dizdar. Look it up. Look it up. He's the one that came with the book, breaking down the soldiers that was actually being engineered through Chinese scientists over in the UK at the time. And he interviewed one of the genetically modified soldiers. That's all I can say here today. But these soldiers, that's right, they're real. And they're written of in the Bible. Tomorrow, I'll be breaking it down in the academy. I mean, not in the academy. You want to be there too. But tomorrow, I'll be breaking it down on the Sabbath. Okay? And in this academy, I'm also going, the last lesson I'm going to go into in the academy is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah. The judgment of the nations and the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse will be the last lesson in this Hebrew Bible Academy. You don't want to miss it. Shalom. I love you all. And keep praying for me and my family. Keep it up there. Keep it out there. Keep your prayers going up to strengthen us to continue this fight for you in the name of Yeshua. I'll see you all on Patreon. A higher power is with us. Shalom.
You think you can lie to me? I see it's written all over your face.